G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, it's still hot and muggy. Look, only 33 today, so that's a little bit better than the last couple of days at 35. The overnight temperature, it got way down to 26, so nearly had to pull the blanket up. But yeah, look, we're just going through a hot spell at the moment, and it zaps the energy out of you, especially up the shed here when you're mucking around. Yeah, you can't drink enough water. At the end of the day, you're getting sick of drinking water, and yeah, you're just pouring it out. But yeah, today it says showers and thunderstorms today, so that might, a good thunderstorm might break the heat cycle a little bit. But they're saying right through to Wednesday it's still going to be a bit this heat wave going on. And it's not that the temperatures are that high, it's just humidity, 90, 100% just all the time, and that's what really takes it out of you. The cyclone last week ended up to be a bit of a fizzer. They were talking it up, as the media does, they talk it all up, and they were saying 200 to 300 millimetres in Bundy Bear here. Well, I think we got about 11 or 12 or something like that for the whole week. And I was out on the Saturday watering the trees again, just to, mainly the little trees, just to try and keep them going, top up that moisture. Hopefully today we'll get a few showers and that'll help out a little bit. The Bureau of Meteorology is saying the remains of the cyclone that have gone west into I can't think of the bloody name of the town, I've been there. Gone west in from Townsville, and they reckon that'll sort of start coming down, and they're saying 5 to 150 millimetres for this next 7 days. So yeah, they got the last one wrong, so we'll just see how that goes. The whole place could certainly do with a bit of rain. There's moisture in the air, like we've had the air conditioner on in the bedroom, just so you can get a bit of sleep, and you're not laying in bed sweating. And yeah, the windows of a morning, you can't see out of them, it's just condensation all around the windows. Our bedroom's on the corner of the house, so we have windows on two sides that normally we leave wide open with the fly screens letting the breeze in. But yeah, you close them over, put the aircon on, and of a morning, yeah, you can't see out, it's just full condensation on the outside. So that's been, yeah, it's just been hard to stay motivated in that at the moment. I mean, Saturday I stripped the cart for the club's famous 3 horsepower engine and got that apart, and I was going to leave it together and just sand it and give it a quick coat of clear epoxy and seal it up so the oil doesn't get into it. But when I started sanding it and sitting it in the sun, there's a couple of cracks in it and the oil was coming out. And so I'd sanded it and I'd cleaned it and I'd wiped it with turpentine and tried to clean all that up. But when I used the roller to put the epoxy on, the clear marine grade epoxy I'm putting on it to seal it up again, but I chose to strip the cart right to pieces. Under the hoist over here I've got all the axle pieces all with the CRC rust converter on them, and I'll probably use the CRC zinc black on that. Being a zinc, it'll be anti-corrosive, and on top of the rust converter I think it'll work, it'll last a long time for them. But yeah, when I put the epoxy on the timber, and at the end I've done a little film, a little video of it, I come back half an hour later and little bubbles there. So I tried to run a roller over the top again to get rid of the bubbles, but I ended up putting the paint on too thick in the end. Pardon me. So I'm going to let that go off for a couple of days. The axle ones are fine. They can't have got the oil spilled over them as the other ones. So the main beams, and it's no big deal to re-sand them and do them again. We have air sanders and you just sit there and away you go. So shouldn't be too much of a worry to get it all off. But yeah, just, I don't know, I am thinking of when I put the epoxy on next time, I'll probably thin it so it's not so thick. And because I didn't thin it, I just tipped it out of the pot and rolled it on. But yeah, next time I think I'm going to thin it and spray it on and just do a light coat, then let that set a little bit and come back and do a couple of coats, and until I feel I've got it sealed up properly with a nice gloss is what the end result is. But the other day, yeah, it was just probably not ideal in the humidity to do it either. They reckon thunderstorms today, and I can just, you may not be able to hear it with the microphones here, but there may be a little buzz coming in. I've got a fan over here blowing on me, but I'm thinking it's only on low, so I'm hoping I've got the microphone facing away, so I'm hoping it's not blowing the sound out. Just trying to keep a bit cool. Yeah, this last week, Friday was Australia Day, and so yeah, we had well, the shop was shut and we had a break for Australia Day. Saturday I got into the cart here. The kingpin housing here, there's a bit of a story about that, and I haven't dealt with that. There's a problem, and I need to sort it, and I just haven't got stuck into it. I've been playing with the cart. Now my mate Dave and Paul that do the rail trolleys, you know, for the cane bins that I showed the pictures of last stew. We've been talking about in the background of, you know, they've put a lot of work into this stuff, and putting a little plaque on there that says, you know, restored by Dave Recco and Paul Irwin, 2023 for the last one. And so I thought as a practice run for the cart on the club engine, I'd put I want to put a plaque on there. The Truscott family, there used to be a bloke called Bob Truscott and at Elliot Heads Road, and he had a little train track round his yard, his house yard, and he had this famous engine, a few other engines around the place, and he passed on, and the family donated his collection of stuff that he'd made over the years to our vintage machinery club, Rum City Vintage Machinery Club. So the engine was donated by the family after his passing, and so I was going to make a little brass plaque on the side that says Rum City Vintage Machinery Club, kindly donated by the Truscott family, Bundy, just in recognition of them helping the club out. So in doing that, I thought I'd have a go at making as a practice run for that, I'd make a couple of plaques for the cane trolleys that Dave and Paul did. So there's and this, believe it or not, this took me quite a while. Well, you probably know that anyway. I cut out an oval piece of brass, and on the oval piece of brass, I put a bit of vinyl across the top. I put it in the laser, and I left a mask there, and then I put it in the little electrolysis bath. And I only had it running on a couple of amps, and that was Friday afternoon. And Jude come home from work, and we went for a chat, and I said, oh look, I'll go and have tea and I'll do this shortly. Well, I was away from it an hour and a half because we got chatting, and in the end you can see that was attempt one, and you can see the washed out edges and all that on that. So that may have probably been good if I didn't go and have dinner and sit chatting. But anyway, yeah, you can see the edges are rubbish. So I thought, oh well, not to worry, I'll try and engrave it, you know, on the CNC router. I thought, well, I've got the facility here to do that. Let's do that. So I was looking at some of the engraving things, and they're saying use a 90mm bit and just go shallow and all that, and a 90-degree bit. And I thought, yeah, all right, let's try that. So I tried that, and that came out okay, but they're sort of nearly jumbling into each other. So yeah, I didn't like that too much. Trying to paint that. I suppose it would have done, but anyway, you've got to be a bit fussy, haven't you? So that was attempt 2. And I thought, nah, that's not right. So I changed to a 60-degree tool, a pointier tool, adjusted the settings, and this is what I've settled on. So that's what I came up with. So we've got Rum City Vintage Machinery Club, restored by, can you see it better that way? Yeah. Restored by Dave Recco, Paul Irwin, 2023. And then I filled it in with a bit of Massey red paint. And yeah, I just, this one needs a bit more of a polish. You can see the scuff marks across it. And when you do this with the router, on the brass, it's a carbide tool, but it leaves a little bit of a mushroomed edge, you know, where it moves the metal. So I set it on a bit of 600 wet and dry and sand it back, and then, pardon me, and then I paint it, and then I go and polish it. But I've had the paint setting on this one, so this will get another polish today, and then I'll have to get a little toothbrush and get the polish and rubbish out of the words, you know, so the red's there. The red should be set now. Pardon me. And it'll get a proper polish, and then once it's all cleaned and tidied up, I'll probably pop a little bit of clear on that just to hold it. It's got the stuff up on the back. I didn't want to waste the brass. So the cart that they're doing now, I thought I'd keep going and do one for them, and for the new cart, just as a practice run. So that's come up bloody nice, I reckon. So I'm liking that one. You can see the picture of the camera. You can see the viewfinder here and everything. Yeah. But yeah, look, that's come up nice, and that's just in recognition of the work the pair have done on them. And yeah, that'll be something nice. And I was talking to Alan, he's the club secretary, and yeah, I was telling him what we were doing, buggering around, you know, just having a chat. And he said, oh, make sure you put one on that engine that you do, you know, that restored by Lance and Jude. And so I said, yeah, well, I was going to do that anyway, but we're doing that. So yeah, on the back, just for the members to see or something, I'll have a little plaque, probably the same as that, seeing as I've got the program done for them. I'll probably do the same, and then it'll probably be a slightly larger, squarer one donated by the Truscott family. So in this hot weather, it's not bad actually up the other end doing that. I can set a fan up and I can tinker away and do the job, and it's not too bad at all. So now this kingpin housing. Now Sparex gave me this kingpin housing and the kingpin, and well, I'll show you the problem. They come with the bushes in them, and so it sits in there, turns that way nicely, won't come round on full lock here. I don't know. So I actually pulled the kingpin out of the 135 multi-power, and what I've found is on the end of this one, you can see the housing here is quite even all the way round. So yeah, the stick out here is about 1 millimetre, same as that one there. So, and the funny thing is, this one slides in the housing over there nicely, but it's a bit firm in this one, and I don't want to bump it in. But when you look at this one, you can see it's nice and thin here, and then she goes right fat round here. So it looks like that there is where it's hitting, and so I've got to hop in and I've got to grind that down a little bit to make it fit. Now we could return it for a warranty and that, but it's just, you know, they help me out a lot, So the other thing I think, this is Massey Ferguson, like this is your thrust bearing, and when you put the thrust bearing on with the tin side up, and you put the housing in, see the earlier tractors you couldn't see the thrust bearing. On the later ones you can, and look, it's just how they are. They changed that. I don't know whether it was easier to manufacture or something, and like the genuine one on the Massey 20 is like that, you know, the thrust bearings out in the open here. So yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, where this casting writing is here, when that comes around to turn there, you can see this bit here is hitting on the side there. So I've got to get the grinder out, and I'll take a piece out of that until I get the full thing. So that's why I haven't been doing much with the Massey, and plus I've been trying to stay with this while I'm in the groove to do that sort of stuff, and I've been wanting to get the cart on the engine done and back together so I can get the engine mounted and I can finish some of the plumbing I want to do and things like that. So yeah, not a lot of tractor work been going on because I've been a bit sidetracked, and when I got this I thought, right, I'll bang that on, and you know, I like I say, last weekend I filmed pulling the bell crank off for it and all that, but when I was just doing test runs, the wheels fell off. So I've got to sort that out yet. Yeah, look, perhaps today I'll just see. The sun's coming out now, so it's going to be bloody warm. So, and like I say, in this weather, yeah, I sort of try and keep things ticking along okay, but yeah, sometimes if there's a nice breeze, you go and sit in the doorway, because for filming, to keep the breeze out of everything, yeah, you got to come around the corner here. So not a lot's been happening in the shed apart from sitting up that end in the fan. Yesterday morning I was feeling a bit crook. I reckon I had a sore throat coming on, and the kids had been, Tim and the kids, Ali was a bit crook, and young Freya had a bit of a sniffle sort of thing, and they were around for dinner Saturday night, and yesterday morning I woke up and I thought, oh, I'm not bloody feeling the best, you know, a bit of a scratchy throat through the night and things like that, and I was thinking, oh, don't tell me, you know, hot stinking weather and having the flu or having a cold or something is bloody, that makes it more up the shit. So anyway, so I turned the aircon on in my little shipping container, and I tidied up the bench there. I got some new Sparex pots, the new blue tins for the metric taps and dies, and I sat in the aircon sorting all that out. Then after lunch, about lunchtime, went to watch TV, and Sansa, what are you doing? And dog's looking like there's something hanging around. About lunchtime, go and watch TV a bit, and in the pool room, and we were getting not a bad breeze, but I still felt shit. And I said to Jill, I don't know about this. I might have a rum. Bundy rum fixes most things. So I ended up getting a Bundaberg ginger beer stubby, took a swig out of the top, and I put 3 full nips of Bundaberg rum in and stirred him up a bit and just sat there sipping that. And in a couple of hours I had 3 of those. So I had 12 nips of rum. That's half a bottle probably. And and look, this morning, good as gold. Yeah, there's no scratchy throat, there's no nothing. But yeah, after half a bottle of rum and 3 stubbies of ginger beer to fix me cold, yeah, I was in bed early last night. I said, just bloody getting out of the bloody shape, have a couple of snorts, and I got to go and have a snooze. So I was in bed 7:30 last night, probably even before that maybe. And I parked up in the aircon and bloody had a bit of a camp, and woke up a couple of times in the night and had a drink of water, and this morning I'm going well, so there's no sign of it at all. Sometimes getting a bit dehydrated makes you feel a bit like that too, so I don't know whether the heat has been getting to me a bit, but anyway, I'm saying it was the rum. So yeah, 3 nips of Bundy in a Bundaberg ginger beer stubby, and I think that's the cure all. Doesn't matter what's wrong with you, give it a go. Yeah. kick your toe, it might even help for that too, so we'll see. But yeah, look, there's not a lot I'm having trouble getting filming done and things like that, but yeah, no, I was hoping to work on the tractor this last week, but just, yeah, with short weeks and things like that, I didn't get to it. Then when this come along, I thought, oh, I just don't want to deal with that just at the moment, so we'll get there. I don't know when we'll get there, but we'll get there anyway. But yeah, by the time we're out watering trees and mowing lawns and things like that, I probably should be out on the mower today, but we'll just see how we go. If I jump on the mower, that's 3 or 4 hours roaring around in circles, but that's all right. It's not bad mowing. It's a pretty good job, but yeah, the grass is certainly growing. But last week, even though it was humid, we had a couple of really hot sunny days, so that did slow the grass up a little bit, which has been a benefit. Yeah, I didn't have to do the midweek mow, but it sort of needs doing now, so we'll see how we go. Okay, that's it for the stew. Short and sweet. I am going to try and go up the end today and work on the Plaques for the 3 horsepower engine. And while I've got the program and I've got it clear in my mind how to do it and all that, I'll probably do that. And I might take the camera up, and when the CNC's working and doing the engraving, I might, yeah, we might film some of that just so you can see how it goes. But hang around for the videos. There'll be a couple of end videos for sure. Thanks for dropping by, and look, we'll catch you all next week, eh? See ya. Well, we've had a few showers overnight. Paddock's looking nice and green. I had to water the trees through the week though, and yeah, just the heat was just making them all wilt. So if I spin around here, you can see a few puddles on the mat in front of the shed here. So we haven't had a great deal, but just a little bit there. But these are the pieces of the cart, the engine cart for the 3 horsepower Famous, and I've got them all tidied up. I had to sand them right back. They had a like an epoxy paint on them, and I had to sand them right back to bare metal. Now I'm having a bit of trouble with it. I'm using Cabot's clear marine grade polyurethane, and I noticed when I'd sanded it, some of the little cracks in the wood, like this one here, can you see that? Yeah, you might be able to. Because of what it had done in its time, yeah, we were having a bit of trouble with bubbles coming in, or oil coming out, and I wiped it with thinners and cleaned it up, but when I put the paint on, I ended up getting these little bubbles. So, and that's just coming out of the timber. So I'm going to let that set for probably a week, and I didn't thin the paint, I just put it on as is, but it's got a nice gloss to it. The gloss is getting in the road really, but yeah, putting them in, one fell off the other night too, but anyway, that's beside the point. On the inside of the frame it doesn't matter too much, but yeah, if we have sun today, I'll pop them out in the sun to dry better, you know, just to set better. And the little ones that weren't, you know, that just the axles and that went on, they come up bloody well, but the long ones, that main one particularly has got bubbles in it. So I'm going to sand all that back down and take it to bare metal, which is not that big of a job really. Pardon me. Not that big of a job, it's just something you've got to do. Probably the sandpaper will clog up to start with. I might, because I'm using an air sander, I might be able to use a bit of soapy water to stop that happening. But I think next time I might thin it down and put a couple of coats on with the spray gun. I've got a couple of runs there too. Once I noticed bubbles coming, I started running the roller over the top again, trying to smooth things out, but I'm not sure I made it any better, so not to worry. Yeah, that took just about all the Saturday tidying them up. So I'm taking all the epoxy off these long beams. The The cross beams where the axles go, I'm going to leave them as is. They're okay, but these were the ones that I wasn't particularly happy with. And you can see with sanding it, you can see where the epoxy soaked into the wood a little bit. So after sanding, I'm just going to wipe it over with a thinner's rag or a turpentine rag maybe, and we'll put them out in the sun, and we'll try and let that that coat there sink right in. So they're coming up pretty good, but you can see it in the grains through here. So yeah, so for the moment I'm just going to sand them all down, let them cure without the top coat on, and then once we have a nice smooth finish here, I think I'll spray it on in multiple light coats. So I'm using an old Ryobi belt sander. It seems to be clearing nicely with an 80 grit in it. So yeah, that's how we're going to deal with that by the look of it. Okay, it's raining outside, so won't be much filming going on today, but on the kingpin here, you can see how I've sanded that round nice and smooth to get the steering lock we needed. But I actually had to come in there, and this bracket was sticking in slightly, at that end. So I had to get the die grinder and just take a little bit out of there to tidy the radius up, and now it's doing the full one nice and easily. Something you shouldn't have to do, but I don't know, things just seem to happen nowadays. So yeah, we'll get that on when it stops raining.